All right, friends. Hello, and welcome back to some more of the Divine Speaker. I got a haircut recently, in case you didn't notice. And we're gonna play a little bit more. As I said in the last episode, I've turned off character voices solely so that this is a little bit easier edited for me, and it makes a better experience for you, because the audio levels are gonna sound better. I'm gonna say everything that pops up on screen, and we're gonna see what happens next in the game. Hopefully get to whatever town we're trying to go to, meet the third love interest, all that. But let us hop into it. Just like yesterday, we walked until we could barely walk anymore. Rather, we walked until I could barely walk anymore. Vaughn seemed used to it, and despite Leo's injuries, he was getting around fine. He was actually looking brighter than before. The sun was already high up in the sky. Even when I put my hand up to block it, rays of sunshine spilled out between the gaps in my fingers and got into my eyes. Close your fingers, dumbass. My lungs felt like they were burning and my legs felt heavy, like lead. Am I really this unfit? At home we have a garden that I work in, but it's not nearly as intensive as this, just different muscles. You're used to, like, maybe leaning over, picking up things with your arms. That's different from your legs, dude. Guys, I think I need a quick break. I could barely get a word out through my panting. Ah! Vaughn rushed back towards me. I'm so sorry. You should have said earlier if you needed a break. Why don't we stop here for a while? I don't think there's much further to go after this anyway. Why bother stopping if it isn't much further? He's obviously struggling, so... and he just needs to keep up. I don't think... Laughing. I'm not very good at fake laughing, so just... insert your best maniacal laugh here. We all stopped dead in our tracks. What was that? Vaughn motioned for all of us to get down. Crunching footsteps grew louder, closer, along with the sounds of laughter. Is that a group of people? Out here, walking and chatting? I opened my mouth to ask. Vaughn put his finger to his lips. We don't know who they are, so it's better if they don't know we're here. When I looked towards Leos, I could see his narrowed eyes darting from place to place. He looked as confused as I felt. People? This far out? Surely not. The fact that we're here is unheard of. But other people, too? Did you see the size of his coin purse? As if he'll be missing it. Can't miss anything when you're already kicking around the abyss. From the bushes, we could hear the thunderous laughter coming closer to us by the second. I couldn't stay quiet anymore. That's a choice, Rain, but okay. Who are they? Shush! They all stopped and listened, one of them asking if they heard that. Yeah, from over there. Something's shuffling about. Ah, crap. Crunch. Crunch. Whoever that was slowly getting closer. My body felt numb, a dull ache in my ears from the sound of my own heartbeat. What should I do? How do I... Damn it. Why the hell are you two so fucking stupid? What? Before I could say anything else, he'd already bounced to his feet and had a dagger in each hand. Well, looks like we've got another one wanting a lighter purse. We'll be happy to take it off your hands. We're lucky today, boss. Ain't usually no one around here. Heh, try me. He spat in their direction, gross. As if you could ever touch me with that blade of yours. I doubt you even know which end to hold. Wait, he's still injured. I have to help him. My hands were shaking. I wanted to jump up and stand with him, but I could barely breathe. I took a moment to breathe in and out slowly. Finally, the drumming in my ears calmed down a little. What are you calling me? Ah, both hard of hearing and a bumbling. What a delightful combination. I poked my head out of the bushes just in time to see the group of men Leos was facing. They shuffled about awkwardly, glancing at the one in the center. That must be their leader. I'm sure they aren't used to him being insulted like this. Huh? Tough words coming from someone that's outnumbered. My boys are gonna chew you up. His face was getting redder and redder, and his jaw was clenched shut. I leapt to my feet and rushed to Leos' side. What are you doing? Before he could even start complaining, I grabbed one of the knives he had strapped to his side and held it out in front of me. He's not alone. I'll protect him. Silence, apart from the sound of Leos sighing quietly. But not long after. Again, I'm really bad at fake laughing. Wahahaha. That's about all you're gonna get. The supposed leader burst out laughing, and his entire crew joined in too. Looks like we have ourselves a knight in shining armor. We didn't know you brought your boyfriend. Even more gold for us, then. I clenched my hands around the pointed blade. The cool metal almost stung my skin. Never even held one before, let alone used one. What are you doing? Get out of here! No, I'm going to help you. No. A flash of metal passed directly in front of my eyes. I only just managed to fall back in time to avoid it. Ah! All the air left my lungs when I hit the ground hard. Only a second later, the same knife came down at me from above. I didn't have time to react. I clenched my eyes shut and shielded my face. But the blow never came. Wait! When I opened my eyes, I saw my assailant go skidding across the dirty floor. The dirty forest floor, with Fawn on top of him. Did Fawn just tackle him? Get him, boys. There's no time to think about it. I jumped to my feet and pulled Fawn up from the ground, retreating back to stand closer to Leos. Hey, mouse boy. Fawn plucked a dagger that was thrown to him right out of the air. Nice. They ran at us, screaming and waving their weapons around like madmen. I gripped the dagger tighter in my hands. Holding it is one thing. Can I use this to hurt someone? The first two men went directly to Leos, since he was the one that insulted their boss. I left two others to deal with. They stood back, watching on and shouting. They circled around Leos, smirking and holding up their swords. Damn, they have swords. We have daggers. It's not great for us, but what you gonna do, pretty boy? Huh. It happened in an instant. Raj. The first one charged at him, and Leos quickly kicked him in the stomach and sent him flying through the bushes. Without even a glance, he threw one of the daggers he was holding in the direction of the man that had been kicked. By the sound that came from the bushes, must have hit. He moved gracefully across the forest floor as the second man ran towards him. He dodged the blow so easily, it was like he was going easy on him. He ducked and leaned out of the way of each swing. Stop moving around so much. The second man's swings were becoming wild and erratic, with no rhythm or thought. I have no knowledge of swordplay, and even I could tell he was doing badly. With a smirk on his face, Leos just dodged him time and time again, as if he was playing with him. Every time he missed, his face went a deeper shade of red. All I could do was watch. I wanted to help, but my legs felt so heavy that I couldn't even take a single step forward. Arg! He suddenly fell to the ground, clutching at his hand. Oh, the grass around him was splattered with flecks of blood. He let out pained groans. Leos looked down at the man with a grin on his face. Get up, shithead. Weren't you boys gonna chew me up? I'm waiting. Fuck you, asshole. Before he could even finish speaking, Leos swung his leg out and kicked him straight across the face. He fell onto his back and didn't make any other effort to get up or argue. I definitely like you more when you're like this. You're much more agreeable when you can't talk. Poor baby, out cold. Let's see if your friends can do any better. He's terrifying. Leos looks like a completely different person. Up until now, he seemed kind of like a smug asshole, but laughing, covered in blood, there was something else there. Something else behind his cold eyes. From the way he darted around and fought, you wouldn't even know that he was injured. His eyes were wild, concentrated on only one thing: killing. Death. He spun again and again, quickly digging his dagger into the shoulder of a different attacker. It was the same man that Fawn had tackled earlier, back for another go. I couldn't take my eyes off of Leos as he was taken over by that bloodlust. He pushed his attacker to the floor. The multiple stabbing sounds were really surprising to me. Stabbing him over and over again in the throat and face. Blood covered in Leos's hands, but he still didn't stop. Fawn stood beside me, eyes locked on the same horrific scene. I wanted to look away so badly, but I couldn't. Rain! Why can I only see your mouth? What? Fawn pushed me backwards into the bushes that we'd jumped out of only a couple of minutes before. I stumbled before steadying myself on a tree trunk, just in time to see the final man swinging at Fawn. It was the one talking lots earlier, the boss of the group. Fawn blocked and dodged the attacks, but his movements were much slower than Leos's. The difference between the two was obvious at a glance. He barely had the time to dodge, let alone time to attack. I played with the dagger that was still in my hands. Can I actually use this? Did I possibly kill someone? Is it okay to kill someone to save yourself? Someone you don't know? Do I have any choice? No, I can't let him hurt Fawn. With each step, my courage faded even more, okay? It sounded like we were ramping up, and then I don't know how to fight, how to block or defend myself, how to hurt someone like that. There's nothing I can do to help, is there? Before I could do anything, Fawn was thrown to the floor with enough force to make him cry out. He stood victoriously over Fawn's body. If I don't do something now... Stop! Wait, don't hurt him. Ah, I'd almost forgotten about you. He turned his attention towards me, and I instinctively took a step back. I looked down at Fawn. He seems a little rattled, but mostly unharmed. At least he's safe for now. The man took another step towards me, anger crossing his face, before it changed to a smile. He thinks I'm an easy target. He's not wrong. Leave us alone. He raised his voice, telling me that we were outnumbered, that his pals would finish up with the other two soon. Pals? Really? Strange that I can't see any around. Rain, get away from him. Fawn pushed himself up onto his knees. His face was suddenly serious. He was within an arm's reach now. There was nowhere to run. Leos was busy on one side, Fawn the other, and behind me, only trees. He'd be able to reach me no matter where I went. I took my final step back and came into contact with a tree trunk. At least I managed to draw him away from Fawn. I could just buy him enough time to get out of here. With my eyes squeezed shut, I clutched the dagger to my chest and prayed for a miracle. Leos! Fawn's scream echoed throughout the entire forest, and everything came to a standstill. Okay. Wow! I waited for the touch of the boss's sweaty fingers. Gross. But it never came. Nothing happened. When I opened my eyes, there was no one in front of me. Instead, he laid stomach down on the grass a few feet away. Leo stood behind him, glaring between his knitted eyebrows. There were no eyes in there, they were just brows, but okay. He looked absolutely livid. This is the content I wanted to see in the world. If you lay a single one of your disgusting fucking fingers on either one of them, I'll remove them from your body. I'll snap off every single one of them. In one hand he still held a dagger, but in the other was some kind of long leather rope. The other end was wrapped around my attacker's ankle. Did he just use that to drag him off of his feet? Thank the gods we had Leos of all his weapons after all. Slowly, Fawn approached the man lying on the ground. He knelt down beside him and flipped the man over so that he was facing upwards. Don't you dare speak to Rain like that. I wasn't expecting it from Fawn, too. His back was to me, so I couldn't see his face, but his voice was cold. He leant in even closer to the man. I'm so fucking scared. The pansy boy is gonna kill me. Killing you would be too kind. With a thud, Fawn punched the man in the face. He wailed and howled, holding his nose and thrashing around. Blood poured out from between his fingers, pooling in the grass that laid underneath him. Fawn. That was surprising. Even Leos looked astounded. He turned around, an innocent look on his face. Yes? Fucking asshole, you wait till I get my hands on... Listen, dude, we're having a moment here. Fawn's showing his secret, scary side. Get out of here. Leos flung his remaining knife into the man's calf. His clothes quickly turned a deep red. Was I speaking to you, filth? I don't remember saying anything to you. Fawn looked down at his bloody fist, a surprised look on his face. I didn't. The man rolled around, desperately trying to grab onto someone. Leos kicked him back over with a thud. Things aren't looking so good for you now, eh? Where did all those friends of yours go? Oh, wait, that's right. I killed them. Leos knelt down beside the man and pulled the dagger out of his leg. Blood ran down the edge of the dark metal. He pulled the boss up by his greasy hair. Leos smirked at the way he struggled. Shit. Good night. He wrapped the leather whip around the man's throat. Yeah, good night for sure. Whoa, wait, is he going to... His face turned red before turning purple. I'm having a night, apparently. Maybe this wasn't the episode where I should start reading everything. Anyway, he desperately tried to claw at the whip wound around his throat. Wait, Leos. No, continue, Leos. What? Killing him is too easy. You don't have to kill him. Let's just get out of here, okay? No, please. Go for it. Like, I have never understood in games, and this isn't about this game in specific, but just general. Me, personally, I've never understood the whole thing in games of, like, somebody attacks you, and so you let them live. Okay, maybe only in specific circumstances, like if I know that they're going to be a companion, thinking about, like, Dragon Age Origins or Baldur's Gate 3, stuff like that, where people attack me, and I'm like, okay, yeah, you can join my party. But when they don't matter, they're not named, and they attack me, you're not getting away. Like, I don't understand this mentality. I saw a flicker of emotion cross Leos's face. Hesitation? I'm not sure. It's the first time I've seen an emotion other than a lust for battle on his face throughout this whole ordeal. I know these are bad people. Really, I know that. The other bodies that were spread out over the grass hadn't moved. Were they dead? Injured? I didn't know. Even if it's to protect me, I don't want Leos to keep killing. Rain, you and I are two different people. I dropped the weapon I was holding and took a deep breath. The muscles in my arms ached, despite my lack of involvement. Okay, I have no reason to be scared anymore. I put my shaky hand on Leos' shoulder. He turned his eyes towards me, a strange look on his face. It's fine. You can let him go. We're okay now. Let's just go. This man isn't worth our time. Fine. He's not worthy of being killed by me anyway. Leos immediately let go of his hair, and the man came crashing to the ground. With a whip removed from around his neck, he gasped for breath and crawled desperately away from us. There was a purple bruise around his neck that wouldn't be going away anytime soon. You're lucky these two are so forgiving. If I ever see you again, I'll gut you where you stand. Understood? Yes, sir. And then somebody else screams. Or the man, I don't know, where's the scream coming from? Quick kick to his behind left the boss face down in the mud. This must be the most unlucky day of his life. That was unnecessary, but fun nonetheless. Lightly, I tugged on Leos' sleeve. Let's get out of here. He bent down to pick up his thrown weapons and quickly glided back over to me. Every step was smooth, like he was walking on clouds. The crazed look in his eyes was gone, but a smirk replaced it immediately. What are you so happy about? He bent down until we were eye level with each other. Hello? The look of terror in someone's eyes when they realize they're outmatched is like nothing else. They talk big, but when it comes down to it, they're nothing but amateurs. Fawn looked around our battlefield, back to his usual self. Are the rest of them dead? Who knows? That depends on how good of a shot you think I am. Death isn't something to laugh at. You shouldn't take it so lightly. Really? Because only a moment ago you seemed like you'd be up for killing that fat oaf. But I guess at the end of the day, someone like you would never understand what it feels like. Leos moved to stand before Fawn, peering into his face. Or would you? No, that's enough. Please, I just want to leave. I can't look at this any longer. Okay. Let's go. I don't think we're too far from the edge of the forest now. After all of that, I felt so worn down. My mouth and throat were dry, and the adrenaline was only just beginning to leave my system. If he says the edge of the forest is close, then sure, the edge of the forest is close. I have no energy to argue. If it means I can sit down for a minute, he can tell me anything. We left the area, following Fawn back the way we came. So, what were they doing out here? They seemed like a band of thieves, not very good ones. As for why they were out here, not sure. This is the first time I've been this far. This is the first time you've been here, and yet you're leading us so confidently? See, he's full of shit. He's been leading us in circles the entire time. No, I definitely know that this is the right way. My friends told me to go this way. Friends? Fantastic. Just when I was thinking that Leos needed another reason to tease Fawn. What? My friends. The animals that lived with me. Lived with you. The animals that lived with me. They helped me out. Aw, they helped you. Of course they did. Did they cook and clean for you as well? Dress you and bathe you? What? No, of course not. They mostly just kept me company. I made sure they were safe, and they did the same for me. And sometimes they'd lead me places. We're a family, and we look out for each other. At least, we did. I wish I could introduce you to them. I just hope you're okay. What? What the fuck is wrong with you? Nothing? You're telling me we're following you around because a bunch of animals told you that this was the right way? Are you insane? Are you actually so out of your mind that you think this sounds reasonable? I hate that me playing this entire demo is me taking Fawn's side, but the story is so Fawn focused. Rain is so Fawn focused. Leave him alone. Leos, be nice. Did you not hear him? He talks to animals. I heard what he said. Let's just drop it. Drop it? Do you want to be wandering in circles for the rest of our lives? This is insane. Seriously, stop it. Pipsqueak is probably doing this on purpose, taking us out to the middle of nowhere to eat us or something. Shut up. Will you just leave him alone? All you do is constantly try to push him down and make him feel bad. He's done nothing to lose my trust. But what about you? You were hired to kill me, but you expect me to trust everything you've said over someone who's only trying to help? Just be quiet and keep walking. Fawn, you said we were close now? Yeah. It shouldn't be much farther now. Great. You're both delusional then. I'm so glad that neither of you are so worried about this situation. Of course I'm worried, but what else can we do? Be careful here. The greenery around us gradually shifted to gravel and rubble. Ahead of us, the trees were becoming thinner. This is it. It? The edge of the forest. We snuck closer to the light that beamed in from the other side of the trees. With every step, I could feel my heartbeat becoming heavier. What is this? I held my breath and took the final step out of the tree line. That's a lot. Like, this is a big city. I was expecting, like, maybe a little village or something. This is... Okay. There. That's the coastal city of Stagwitch. I dropped to my knees, the rocks crunching under my weight. Past the tree line, the sun was setting. There's more? The more we pan, there are more buildings? We're done panning now. Okay, this is the coastal city of Stagwitch. Past the tree line, the sun was setting a brilliant shade of yellow over the sprawled-out contents below. Large, rocky structures. Water that goes on forever. A city. A city? Fawn, you weren't lying. You aren't crazy after all. Did you really think I was? I wouldn't lie to you. Town wrapped around the coastline, and lanterns around it were slowly flickering to life as the sun descended further and further into the water. Everything I know, everything we've been taught, was a lie? The view made me dizzy. I had to hold the ground in place just to feel secure. Yeah, the ground's gonna move. This can't be true. What the speaker says isn't a lie. He has no reason to lie to us. That's right, the speaker. He wouldn't lie about something like this. Maybe he just doesn't know? A slight wind blew my hair around, so I tucked some locks behind my ear. It was cold, cooler than at home. I was imagining rain like, oh my god. Maybe he didn't know? I don't know why. Well, hiding the outside world seems like a difficult thing to do. It could be an accident, but then everything you said about not coming from Aurelia Cavella, about the towns surrounding here, they were true as well? Of course, I've never lied to you. I've never even seen Aurelia Cavella. I barely knew it existed. Crawled closer to the edge of the cliff. Fawn and Leo sat down beside me. There's so much water. I've never seen so much. Does it go out forever? It's the ocean. It goes until it hits another block of land. There are other cities across it as well. The water glistened in the fading light. It was beautiful. Beautiful, but something about it made me feel sad. The more I looked on the fantastical landscape that went as far as the eye could see, the more lost I felt. My whole life, I would have never known. And those? What are those giant rocks? The mountains? Did someone build them? They're huge. No, they're natural, like the ocean and the forests and everything around us. I see. My arm throbbed numbly. I could feel the markings buzz, like they were okay. We sat for a while, just taking it all in. Maybe... Does fate not exist after all? My life should be quiet, uneventful. But here I am. My judgment wasn't anything like this. The speaker is always right. Everything he says comes true. He looked upon the land below us, a worried expression on his face. He wasn't even convincing himself. Maybe that's because you all do what he tells you to do. I believe in destiny, but I also believe that fate is what you make of it. You can become anything. I don't know him, but just because he tells you one thing doesn't mean you can't live your life how you want to. Fate isn't absolute. It's what I think. Your hard work and effort are the things that determine whether your fate comes true or not. I've never thought about it like that. You've gotta be fucking kidding me. Is this actually real? Looks like it. And no one else from home has ever thought to look out here? I guess not. There's not much I can say. What do you say when everything you've ever been told was wrong? I looked at Fawn. He said he'd guide us to the edge of the forest, and Leo said I could go search for help, but... Fawn... If it's okay with you, I'd like to come with you. Really? Going back now wouldn't be safe. Plus, it'd be a little lonely. His cheeks and the tips of his ears turned red again. I wouldn't have it any other way. I smiled at him. I can't imagine going any further without his help. I might not be very useful, but thank you. I've just now noticed, is Fawn wearing short shorts also? Y'all know what I'm staring at as I'm reading, apparently. Like, I just... Listen, the text is on top of it, okay? You're not as useless as I thought, after all. Leos reached over and ruffled Fawn's hair. That's cute. I like this. Thank you, I think. I looked out over the horizon, then back at the two that sat next to me. You guys... Thanks. I'd probably be dead by now if it weren't for the two of you. Damn right you would be. I think I'll have to teach you how to hold a weapon, at the very least. Then again, I could also be dead because of one of them. Oh well, maybe my emotions are taking over my common sense right now. Should we start climbing down, then? It'll be dark soon. Good idea. We all scrambled to our feet and started to descend down the rocky slope. I kept an eye on Leos, though. Despite how he acts, he is actually still injured. Like, I'm doubting it. I know that he was coughing up blood, and you can't really fake that. But after that fight scene, I'm doubting it a little bit. You need a hand? From someone like you? No thanks. What happened to the nice Leos from just a few moments ago? I don't know him, sorry. The sun slowly set over the wide ocean as we made our way down the slope and towards the town in front of us. Outside, it was already pitch black, but fortunately the lights from around the city helped to guide our way. Trees began to thin out into small fields of rice and wheat before finally we reached the entrance to the town. The town buzzed with activity. The inhabitants moved around, doors opened and closed, people chatted excitedly, and kids ran through the streets. I can't believe this is real and we're actually standing here. I did try to tell you. I know. Sorry, Fawn, for doubting you. In my mind, a place like this just couldn't exist. Yet, here we are. Sorry, I must look really dumb to you. It's okay. You are. I understand. How could the two of you believe me when you've always been told the opposite? Pains me to admit it, but even I feel a little bad. Let's look at this positively. From here on out, we have much to learn and experience. Doesn't that sound fun? I just wish we could show this to the people back home. You never know. Maybe one day you'll get to go back and tell them. With all of my heart, I want to believe that one day I can show this sight to them, to the matron, to Mia and Tobias, to everyone. It might be an unreasonable wish, but I'll still wish for it. One day, I'll be able to show them. Definitely, someday. Alright, let's not waste any more time. I don't know about the two of you, but I'm not spending another night sleeping on the ground. I would appreciate a bed. Even in Fawn's house, the bed was only thrown together. What I'd give to sleep in a proper bed tonight. Sounds good to me. I guess we can just walk through the main streets then? Do we need to hide? Will they question us? I don't think so. We should be able to enter and leave freely. Really? Wow. We slowly walked through the outskirts of town. No one stood watch, though, just like Fawn said. They really can just come and go as they please. They can look out onto the ocean and decide to go visit it. They can look far into the distance and just go. I envy them. My arm ached as we walked between the buildings. The dull throbbing went from my wrist all the way to my shoulder. I massaged it with my other hand, but it didn't help. Is your arm bothering you? The two of them watched me closely while we walked between the rows of houses. Oh, no. It aches a little, but I'm sure soon it's not a big deal. Alright, but tell us if you can't deal with it, okay? Yeah. Oi, look. Oi is not a word I expected you to say. I don't know why, it just doesn't seem like it's in his personality to say oi. Not far from us, we saw the first of the townspeople. Instinctively, my body tensed up, and I wanted to hide. What will she do? She wouldn't call the guards just because a group of messy, unknown guys walking around in the middle of the night, right? We all watched her closely, in anticipation. She gave us a gentle smile as she walked past, and kept going on her way. That was it. She seemed rather friendly. She did. I've heard that the people here are friendly, but... But? What? By your little friends? No, by... I mean, yeah, they told me. Even if people seem friendly, it doesn't mean they really are. It looks like it should be a safe place to spend the night, though. Fine. Did your friends also happen to mention a place we'd be able to rest, Mouse Boy? No, they didn't. Sorry. It's fine. You shouldn't be expected to know everything. We can just take a look around together, right, Leos? I glared in his direction. Hopefully he could read the shut up look in my eyes. Whatever you say. Alright, it's settled then. Task 1, we find a place to stay. And task 2, we find someone to look at your injuries. Okay? Yes, sir. Only you are always so compliant. I like this, Leos. We walked further through the town, more confidently than before. People bustled around, busy with their own lives. They didn't pay us any attention whatsoever. The buildings here all look so strange. I was thinking that too. What do you mean? At home, the buildings look nothing like this. It's amazing. Really? I looked around. Yeah, it was different at home. Completely different. Even the atmosphere wasn't the same. We kept walking, slowly passing other people who paid no attention to us. No one called out to us or asked us what we were doing there. They're not even noticing us. They look so similar to the type of people from home, yet so different. Different hairstyles, different clothes. Faces that seemed almost familiar, but slightly off. So strange. I glanced at Fawn. He was following slightly behind me, with his eyes cast down towards the ground. Fawn? Huh? His eyes flicked up from the ground immediately. Are you okay? Oh, yeah. I'm just a little tired. We agree on something for once. Well, I know I said it pretty easily, but where exactly are we going to stay? Wait here. Before I could object or question him, Leos was off. He wove between the buildings and was out of sight instantly. That is a man on a mission, and he knows exactly where to go. Yeah, I'll wait here. I mean, he said he can have his own adventure. There's really no stopping him sometimes. This area was relatively quiet, with only a few people walking past every now and then, so I crouched down and rested my back on the wall behind us. It's been a long day. Vaughn stood awkwardly, still staring at the ground. Hey, why don't you sit down here with me? Oh, okay. He sat down on the pavement a few steps away from me and rested his head in his hands. I don't like this. He's crying? I have questions, but I know I'm not gonna get the answers right now. I shuffled over until I bumped into him and draped my arm over his shoulders. Hey, don't act so distant. When his eyes met mine, I finally noticed his eyes welling up. What's wrong? Did I say something to upset him? He's been acting strange ever since we got here. I'm sorry. What did I do? No, I also don't know how to fake hiccup, so... I'm scared. I don't know what to do. What to do? Suddenly there's all these people around. I haven't set foot anywhere like this in 10 years. He has anxiety. I feel useless and scared. At least out there I could be helpful, but now... So, he does remember how long he's lived alone after all. You're not useless. We could have never found this place if not for you. But that was out there. Here, I know nothing. Every time I make eye contact with someone, I want to run away as far away as I can. That's not exactly what it said, but okay. I want to hide and never come back. I don't want them to hurt me. I didn't mean... They won't hurt you. What if they do? You should know that I wouldn't let them. Okay. When I needed help, you gave it to me. You protected me more than once, so let me help you now. Not that I know much more than you about this kind of thing. He just stared at the ground silently. Why are you so worried? Have these people done something to you? No. But the last time I just don't want to remember. He doesn't want to talk about it. I'm not going to push him. Well, trust me, I won't let them do anything to you. I tightened my arm around his shoulders and pulled him a little closer. When he looked at me, I smiled. This is all I can do. It's the only way I know to show him that I'm here for him. Okay. He rubbed at his eyes with his long sleeves and let out a quiet sigh. With a slight turn of his head, he watched me with puffy eyes and cheeks tinged pink. Hey, you shouldn't do this in public. What do you mean? Your arm? My arm? Why? You can't comfort people in public? Is it different out here or something? I don't think it's a big deal. In some way, you kind of remind me of these two kids at my orphanage. I want to look after you. Oh. What? Before I could say anything, we were interrupted by an explosion of giggles and chatter coming towards us. What is that? I took my arm off of Fawn and stood up. When I held out my hand, he quickly accepted and stood beside me. Oh my god, your outfit is so sexy. Where are you from? And your hair, it's so smooth. What do you use? Did you come here with anyone? Did I touch your ass? Around the corner came Leos with a small crowd of women following behind him. A couple of girls buzzed around him, asking questions and touching him. Leos? Are these your friends? Little brothers? These are my companions. We're traveling together. That's adorable! Is it? What's going on here? I just asked someone if they knew where we could stay the night. Then more people came until I had a crowd. I don't know what they want. Fawn shrunk back from the sudden crowd, further into the shadows. Well, did you find somewhere we can stay? We can take you to our local inn. It's the best in town. I'm not sure we can afford... Come on, follow us. Some of these sentences are hard to do Valley Girl with. Two ladies held Leos by either arm and led him away. I gave Fawn's hair a little ruffle. Remember, I'll look after you. Come on. With a small nod, we set off after Leos. The walk towards the apparent best inn in town wasn't very long. The area was mostly quiet, and we only passed by a few people. We probably wouldn't have found our way here without Leos's fans. I guess I should be thankful. There were quite a few people gathered around the entrance of the small building, chatting and laughing, but the inn wasn't much to look at. A young lady stood by the door, smoking some kind of pipe. A man with dark green hair sat at one of the outside tables, playing with a bird. When I peeked in through the window, the inside was pretty much devoid of life. The Sleeping Ostrich Inn. Wow. Oh, sorry, that was sent by Leos. I shouldn't have been so enthusiastic. Wow. Your little forest friends taught you how to read, too? I already knew how to read. Please just be nice. When am I not? Do you really want me to answer that? Let's just go in. Better than standing around out here. A crowd of girls that brought us here shuffled in through the doorway. The inside of the inn was a little run down, with creaky floors and an old bar, but after the places we'd been sleeping lately, it looked like heaven. Sets of tables were scattered around the room, and a few stools that sat by the bar. Only a couple of people were sat around, drinking alone. The atmosphere was pretty dull. The bartender looked up when we entered, his eyes wide at the sight of around 15 people suddenly bursting in the door. How many fangirls did you bring, Leos? Leos's crowd sat him down at a table and surrounded him in an instant, chatting to him non-stop. I wish I could read. Sorry, Leos. You were a worthy sacrifice. Guess I'll go talk to the bartender. I'll come too. Even I felt awkward around that big group, so I couldn't blame Fawn for wanting to come along with me instead. By the time we reached the bar, a couple of the girls had already bought rounds of drinks and brought them back to the table. What a crowd! Where'd you find them all? Just outside. Is he talking to me? All of them? You mean the girls? Of course, I mean the girls. I couldn't pay them to stop by here any other night. They'd like to complain about the place being dirty or something. Nonsense. You can find a place cleaner than this. I eyed up a thick layer of dust that covered the bar top. Sure. My friend... Well, one of my companions met them while we entered town. We asked them if they knew anywhere we could stay the night, and they directed us here. Actually, it's more like they pulled us all the way here, to be honest. My companion? He pointed out Leos, surrounded by women and looking uncomfortable. Yeah, that's him. I'm not surprised. They'd do anything for a man as handsome as him. Oh, what it's like to be young. He sighed wistfully. If you're looking for a place to stay, then you're in luck. How many of you? Just 3 of us. I hope. 3 rooms then? That'll set you back 30 plumes each. We're the cheapest in town, but the best, of course. Plumes? You don't take marks? We both looked at each other in confusion. The currency here might be different to the one we're used to. Different? I can't think of a single town in the region that uses anything else. I see. There's no way we could work out some kind of agreement? We've been traveling for days. Well, you have brought in a pretty big crowd. I'll give you that. Abruptly, he stopped speaking and cast his eyes to the far side of the room. In the corner was a small stage, worn from use but covered in cobwebs. I guess it hasn't been used in a while. I'll tell you what, if you can entertain them enough to stay for the evening and put on a bit of a show, you guys can have some of the cheap rooms. We got a deal? Entertain them? How? We've got some old music equipment in the storeroom out back. Music? Now isn't really the time to be picky, but how can I tell him that I'm not even slightly musically inclined? No choice, I suppose. I'll just run with this. Thank you so much. We really didn't want to have to leave tonight. Wait, rain. Perfect. I'll go get some of the instruments then. The man disappeared through a doorway, apparently on his way to collect some instruments. What are you thinking? There's no way we can do it. Do you have any other ideas? He looked away and thought, this is our best bet. I walked back over to Leos and gave him a little tap on the shoulder. What? Well, good news. We can stay here tonight. Well, you aren't entirely useless after all. Bad news, we have to put on some kind of musical show and keep these girls happy. I take it back, I have never met a person as useless as you. Do I look like some kind of flute player? Some kind of dancing harp or lute musician? Is that what you think I look like? A little, honestly. Shut it. Sorry, but honestly, it's here or the streets. And I'd much rather be here. I don't think I can. I'm back. Take your pick. He laid out a variety of instruments on the bar top, just waiting to be picked. Lutes, trumpets, pan flutes, and so many others I didn't know the names of. Oh, I think I could play this. I picked up the simplest looking one of the lot. I've never been very musically talented, so even this might be a stretch for me. A triangle? Really? Let's just see what you pick then. He timidly plucked the strings of a lute. Oh, what's this? Is this some kind of dancing, prancing lute player I see? Shut up. I played a little when I was younger, alright? Really? Sure, if you say so. Vaughn stood behind me, looking over the assortment laid out in front of us. Is it getting hot in here? What? I pulled out the clothes around my neck, but it didn't help. Maybe I'm just feeling a little nervous. I rolled my sleeves up to my elbows to try and cool down a bit. I really can't. I've never played any of these. Maybe I'll go stay somewhere else and meet you back here in the morning? Wait. I'm sure there's something you can do. I'm not sure. What about singing? Surely you spent some time singing to your pets. I couldn't. They'll laugh at me. And they weren't my pets. Of course they won't. I bet they won't even take any notice of us. They're all too busy entertaining themselves. They probably won't even listen to you singing. they'll be watching Leos instead. Well, I guess I could give it a try. But what's wrong? We'll be up there with you. What can I even sing about? How about you sing about me? Oh, this is a tough decision because he's actively going, I don't know what to sing about, so saying you can pick, like, with his character? I don't think that would really fit, but also, it's totally in Rain's personality to not understand what this means. Go for it. Why don't you sing about me? About you? That's a little... He looked down at his feet, mumbling. The crowd was bigger than anything he would have ever experienced, so I can't blame him for being nervous. But if it means we can all sleep in actual beds tonight... Yeah, let's just have some fun with it. Don't look so nervous. This is ridiculous. Well, I guess so. You won't be alone up there. We'll both be right next to you. Alright. But is it really okay to sing about you? I don't mind. I leant in closer to his ear and ignored the strange look Leos was giving me. Maybe leave out the whole arm thing, though. Okay. I just don't want you to be uncomfortable. Are you two done? Let's get this over with. Good luck. The crowd didn't take much notice of us setting ourselves up on the stage. They chatted between themselves, drinking and laughing. Leos plucked a few strings, content with the tune. I guess all I have to do is hit my triangle? Pretty easy, really. I hit it a few times. Yep, it's definitely a triangle. Fawn was staring at the wooden floor. He might need a little push. Ready? Ready as I'll ever be. Fawn? Oh. Yeah. He cleared his throat a few times and gave me a little nod. The bartender leant against the bar, watching us as Leos began strumming his lute. Hey, he's actually not that bad. I gave him a smile before whispering to him again. You can do it. Am I supposed to be just, like, hitting space, or... Nope, okay.
I stand behind these walls, waiting for them to fall. I will pave a way beyond the grave.
What? Wow.
I'll run away, journey beyond the fog.
He's actually really good. His soft, melancholic voice reached out towards the audience and captivated them. Only a moment ago they were loudly cheering for Leos, but now they watched Fawn in silence. They all listened, mesmerized. Leos played a soft tune on his lute, perfectly complementing Fawn's voice. I want to finish this little, like, singing thing here, but I know of a CG that I guess is going to be coming up because this character is in it. And I feel like that's going to be a really big scene, and we're already 5 minutes over the time that we're supposed to be, and I think we're going to end it here. I know it's kind of an awkward place to end this episode, but Like, you know, we need to end it eventually. Thank you for watching this. I hope you enjoyed it. And I will see you next time for whoever this character is. I don't know. I have no idea. I just know I've seen them in a CG before. So they're probably important. I don't know. I'll see you next episode for them.